Join Edwin Frondozo on the Business Leadership Podcast every week for a unique program featuring insights and actionable items from the world's most successful business leaders. Hear firsthand the exclusive interviews and personal journeys on how today's transformational leaders made it to the top.
This is the Business Leadership Podcast, and I'm your host, Edwin Frondozo. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing? People in our community are struggling, and leading in business can be lonely. And with added COVID-19 stresses and social distancing, there's real value in hearing from leaders facing and solving unprecedented challenges. Our next guest on CATA's 20 Leaders in 20 Days Virtual Shift miniseries is Darryl Praill. He is the Chief Marketing Officer at VanillaSoft. He is an accomplished, award-winning marketer, a keynote speaker, a SaaS branding expert, social media influencer, podcaster, and a serial entrepreneur. He has raised almost $100 million in venture capital. He's been acquired, merged, and taken companies public. He's been hired and fired and worked for companies of all sizes. In this episode, he shares the challenges and opportunities leading during uncertain times. Having trouble keeping your newly remote teams engaged, effective, and connected? I can help. Text HELP to 416-834-0299 and we'll connect. Again, text me at 416-834-0299 and I will personally connect with you. With that, here we go.
I work for a company called VanillaSoft. We're Canada's 15th largest software as a service SaaS company. So as a classic software company, working from home is not terrible for us. We understand technology. We're set up for it already. Most of us have webcams and microphones and headphones and all that great stuff. Although our developers really did how to get that because they're not used to actually having virtual meetings. They just, hang out and you throw some food once in a while and they're happy.
Yeah. And lots of Slack chats. I guess.
Even then, they weren't big on the Slack. Everybody else was except developers. Now they all are, which is so in some regards, the irony behind this is that it really has forced everybody to, as a company, embrace, whether it be Slack or Zoom or text or whatever it might be. So we now are all well-versed and comfortable. We do have offices. We have multiple offices around the world. And we do like to hang out with one another. Look at me. I'm a chief marketing officer. So I actually have studios and all that and cameras and I have production people. And, for me, it's hell because now I'm actually at a home office and I don't have my studio or my production people and I feel naked. But for many of us, it's fine. A lot of our sales reps were remote. Of course, the developers can work anywhere. Our support people can work anywhere. So I think we're missing the camaraderie. But we are doing just fine. Everybody's complaining about questionable internet, lots of people in the house, dogs, kids, whatever in the background. But I think everybody just kind of giggles at that now. As for the clients, though, it's interesting. So we sell software to sales teams. And what we've seen a massive shift all into work from home. And whereas you think that might cause some grief, in fact, for us, it's actually been a boon because now they come back to us and they want extra features and capabilities that our software has that are designed specifically for remote teams. So far, it's been good. We watch all the indicators closely, whether it be website traffic or how many people are signing up for free trials or how much people are logging in or hammering the system and doing activity. And all indicators are up. So for us, at this moment in time, we've actually generated more revenue and our pipeline hasn't been negatively affected. But we are waiting because we know that this is just the transition and we suspect within a few weeks max, it's going to get a lot more quiet than we wish it was.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I'm not sure if you have this insight. And I was thinking as you were talking about having a software as a service platform, enabling sales leads, sales organizations to grow and scale. I'm wondering if you have seen, or your organization seen, the traffic is up, but your clients, are they closing deals still during these times? And how are they managing those situations?
Oh my. So the clients right now, we're seeing two camps. We're seeing the one camp where the people they would sell to, maybe it's hospitality, for example, or maybe it's the travel. They're selling, widgets to the travel industry. Those people, they're in trouble, and they're laying off entire staff, or they're coming to us and they're saying we're in trouble. What's interesting so far, and it is interesting to watch because this is all somewhat uncharted territory, is they're not saying turn it off. They're saying, can we put it on pause? Can you not bill us for a month or two and we won't use the system? But we love you guys. We don't want to lose you guys. We don't want to set it all up again in the future when the economy rebounds. Can we just pause it? And we're working with them. Whereas we have other industries that are feeding the machine, whether maybe they're selling to medical, or they're selling to science, or they're selling to construction, or whatever it might be. They're in a boom. So we've gone from the steady hum to half my base is going, what the hell am I doing tomorrow? And the other half of my base is going, I need to double my user count now because opportunity is knocking on the door.
From your experience, what are those leadership changes? Because like you said, developers are used to working there and now they have to be here. And what have you heard within, I guess, the management teams or the executive teams in terms of the way they're changing the way they lead, or the way they have their huddles, or any tips that people are sharing within your organization with that regards?
So you're almost asking two questions. It's like, what do I look at it from a staffing employee point of view, and what do I look at it for, what do we do as a company? And so let me tackle them both a little bit. From a, how do you work together and make sure you get through this situation we're in? This is what we're seeing. And what's great is that we're part of a number of different virtual meetups and virtual groups. So this isn't just me talking. This is me talking to a lot of the other executives. And we're all kind of saying the same question. We're saying, what are you doing? Right. And in fact, I heard a great sales line the other day, and gives you an example. The sales line they were sharing was, this should be your opening. You call somebody, you're cold calling them, and they answer the phone. Normally you do your pitch, but now, you don't want to be insensitive. So the pitch is something like, I'm assuming you're in one of two camps. Right now, everything's locked down. You're doing nothing, or you're physically, you're reacting in this opportunity. Which camp are you in? And that was their opening line. And it was great because right away it was like, well, I'm in the first camp or the second camp, and now you know where to go. So cold calling and business development isn't stopping, but it's a good example of what's changing. And that's what we're seeing from a management point of view. You got to change your message. You can't be tone deaf. If you had nurtures going out or drip campaigns going out, whether from marketing or sales, they can't be the same old. Hey, I haven't heard from you. Are you still interested? Well, you haven't heard me because my whole company's been disrupted. Change that. A lot of people forget about that. From a leadership point of view, the consensus is this: focus on what you can control. Manage your expectations. There's going to be a hit in your productivity. People are going to be less efficient. They're going to have a new normal. They're out of their rhythm. There's that part. Go where if you're seeing a disruption, go with that parking lot you've had. Yeah, one day we're going to clean our lists. One day we're going to build our account profiles. One day we're going to fix our tech stack. Well, one day's arrived. You want to keep those people employed. One day's arrived. Go do it. Big thing is reach out to your clients. Oh my goodness. Talk to them. Ask them how they're going. Just like a full out campaign, not just from the rank and file support or success people, but from the executives, leadership to leadership, just checking in how you doing. And for us, we've got 2 different virtual coffee talks we're doing tomorrow. One with all of our administrators and one with all of our sales leadership. And they're 2 different conversations. The one is saying, what problems are you having with with our technology as you adapt? The other one's saying, how are you selling? And let's all share together, because we're all clients of VanillaSoft. So we hadn't done that before. So that's the advice I really would look at. The other thing I would do is, everybody thinks, okay, I can't meet face to face, so I'm going online now. The challenge with that is, everybody's going online. So you get lost in the noise. Go somewhere blue ocean. Don't go to the red ocean where there's just a lot of blood because everybody's there. There's that. From the other point of view, what we're seeing from a leadership point of view, and how do I manage my staff? They're really focused on the activity numbers now. So I want to be able to see that my sales reps are making enough activity, that my support people are handling enough calls, that my success people are proactively reaching out. Show me the metrics. They're also doing a couple things. They're dumbing everything down. Before we do these really sophisticated campaigns or programs, no, bring it back in. Focus on short-term wins. Final thing they're doing, HR has gotten a big-ass front seat. People are reacting differently, and there's going to be anxiety. And they're all going to ask for it different ways, whether it's a mental health day, whether it's some telehealth, whether it's some counseling. Be proactive and support them. This is the time when you really decide if those employees will stay with you long term or if they're going to churn. It's all based on how you react. And they're looking to you to lead. So if you're calm and cool about it, they're going to be more reassured. So over-communicate with your staff.
That's it, Biz Leaders. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Business Leadership Podcast. This was episode number 153, the fourth of 20 Leaders in 20 Days Virtual Shift mini-series. If you want to learn more about Darryl, VanillaSoft, or anything else that we discussed, please go to thebusinessleadership.com/153. Join me on my private Facebook group where I will discuss this episode, answer your questions, and connect you with other like-minded business leaders. Simply search for the Business Leadership Group directly in Facebook. Having trouble keeping your newly remote teams engaged, effective, and connected? I can help. Text HELP to 416-834-0299 and we'll connect. Again, text me at 416-834-0299 and I will personally connect with you. And lastly, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, rate, and leave a comment on your favorite podcast player. Thank you again. Be your best.
Thank you for listening to the Business Leadership Podcast at thebusinessleadership.com.